First question to you. You were a huge supporter of Bitcoin back in the day. What has changed?
Well, Bitcoin changed. When I first got into it, it was all libertarians and gold bugs that were against the government. Now, over 40% of Bitcoin sits in 2,000 wallets. It's all vulture capitalists. 70,000 Bitcoin sat in the Bitfinex hackers wallet. Numerous Bitcoin has been seized by the government. So the government has seized Ross Ulbricht's Silk Road stash of who knows, 30, 50,000 Bitcoin, whatever it is. Mt. Gox has got 140,000 Bitcoin. So basically, a lot of people that own billions and billions and billions of dollars of Bitcoin are pretty trashy, scummy people. And all they're going to do is sell it and not have the same political beliefs as you. Blockstream used to have a block size increase on their roadmap, Bitcoin Core. They lied. I and Tone Vays and many other guys fought against the New York agreement where the mining companies tried to take over the protocol. And we were on the same side then. And then we got screwed because Blockstream got bought up by AXA Insurance Company and the founder of, LinkedIn, Ross Reed Hoffman. And what happened? They started launching cloud mining, centralized cloud mining they wanted to sell you. They started launching protocols that compete with Bitcoin, like I don't even remember what they call it, some other network, some other parallel non-Bitcoin network. And so it was just business as usual, centralized scumbags and vulture capitalists taking over. And Bitcoin's roadmap is trash. You want anonymity? Everyone that's tried to be anonymous in Bitcoin has been tracked down and basically killed by the government. So you've got the guys that stole the Finex money. You know why they were sitting on 70,000 Bitcoin still? Because they couldn't get rid of it, because you can't get anonymous enough to get out of it. But if you used Bitcoin, or if you used Ethereum, you could, because you could use Tornado Cash. Guys that hack money in Ethereum actually get to keep their money they stole. But guys that hack money in Bitcoin, they're fucked. They can't get rid of it because you can't get anonymously rid of the shit. And you can't generate yield with it. So everyone gets altcoins to generate yield, and they get wrecked and stupid rug pulls. Or worse, they give their money to a centralized entity like Celsius or BlockFi or so many other horrible centralized entities that Bitcoin was invented to get rid of. But because the stupid protocol can't generate you any yield, you end up giving your keys to somebody else. And that's how Mt. Gox got their 140,000 coins. And that's how the Finex hacker got their 70,000 coins, because the protocol is such trash. Oh, and by the way, all you guys that promote margin trading, you're helping these centralized entities take keys out of people's hands. You're getting one guy on one side of the screen to pretend that he knows what's going to happen and take another guy's money. And you got two guys on two different ends of the same screen trying to steal each other's money. And in the middle is the guy reaping all the rewards. Like the recently convicted or settled with the government BitMEX founders, those guys have got an insurance fund with, 30,000, 50,000 Bitcoin in it. And it's really just their money. It's their retirement fund. They don't have to use it for insurance. And how do they get their 30 or 50,000 Bitcoin? By everyone on YouTube promoting margin trading, telling you this fantasy that if you just learned a little bit more, you could go take other people's money from them. How honest and beautiful. And all it does is make the trading companies rich. The exact opposite. Those are the new banks. The new banks are the people that give you margin. The new banks are the exchanges. And actually, the new banks are the governments that have seized all these coins from the hackers and the criminals. And so what solves this? A lot of things solves this. Tornado Cash solves this. It gives you actual anonymity and privacy. You don't have to get wrecked by the government or lose all your privacy. If you're a business, you don't have to let everyone know what you pay all your customers. You don't have to let everyone know what you pay your employees. You don't have to let everyone know what you pay your suppliers, because you need actual privacy to function in the world, which is why it's a human right. And Bitcoin doesn't offer it. Bitcoin's also at the top of its S-curve. The richest man in the world already bought and dumped on your heads. Governments have already made it legal tender. Insurance companies have already bought it. Everyone already bought it. It's traded in the most liquid exchange in the history of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and hundreds of millions of dollars are traded every single day. And guess what? You're late. It's 13 years old. You're not an early adopter, which is why it's cheaper now than it was 5 years ago. You sat on your Bitcoin for 5 years at a loss. Piece of crap, garbage, trash asset that's the slowest, most expensive database in the world. When the blocks fill up, and by the way, I've waited 6 hours for a transaction, and you can't fix it. And there's no roadmap. They haven't added features in 5 years. And they've had two critical vulnerabilities where anyone could mint as many free coins as they wanted. And one time they did. Somebody minted 6 billion extra Bitcoin and they had to roll the chain back. And then a couple years ago, 3 years ago, a Bitcoin Cash developer, Bitcoin Cash, that thing down 98% versus Bitcoin, 99% actually. That thing, one of their developers found a critical vulnerability in Bitcoin that would have let anyone mint as many free coins as they wanted. They respectably and honorably and responsibly disclosed it. Instead, instead of just minting as many free coins as they wanted. And then Blockstream lied and said it was a denial of service patch they were releasing. But really, it was a denial of service patch plus anyone could mint as many free coins as they want. And how many coins have had that problem? XLM had that problem. Ravencoin had that problem. Monero had that problem. AVAX had that problem. But you know what coin is not ever going to have that problem that all those other coins have had, including Bitcoin twice? Hex. Do you know why? Because it's a safe within a safe. Our consensus code is locked and isolated in a place where no one can ever possibly touch it, ever. But the Bitcoin code, it gets modified and changed all the time. Little tiny fixes they tried to do. They tried to make the latency on the network a little bit quicker that introduced that last bug. That last inflation bug that would have let anyone mint as many free coins as they wanted was introduced by a Bitcoin developer trying to make the network stack a little better because it's spaghetti code. And if you try and change one thing or improve one thing, it breaks everything because the consensus touches the wallet, touches the network. It's trash, and there's no written spec, which is why you don't get multiple implementations. No one wants to use them because they're not bit for bit bug compatible. So what you've got in Bitcoin is limp, weak gains. It dumps just as hard as everything else. Bitcoin dropped 75%, Ethereum dropped 85%, Hex dropped 95%. And when they go to get up, which one do you think is going to get up the hardest? Bitcoin's too heavy. It's the top of its S curve. If you buy it now, you're getting limp gains with the same drops. It's a risk on asset. And as long as inflation rates are increasing, Bitcoin price will continue to go down, along with the prices of almost everything else. You know, Hex went up 30x the last time Bitcoin died from 65K when I called the top on the day. And that top call has been in profit every single day for the last year and a half. Every single day for the last year and a half, except one, the Judas candle, the 69K, 6% higher high. They got all these guys telling you about technical analysis, long the top, and then wrecked and liquidated. Three Arrows Capital, liquidated. Willy Woo, liquidated. Michael Saylor at a loss. Elon Musk, I think Tesla lost 9% on their Bitcoin play. All these losers are losing money left and right while I'm God mode giving away this information for free, handing out free coins. Hex was free for Bitcoiners. Pulse Chain is free for Ethereum people. I'm giving out free coins, free advice, living the dream. All these guys are losers compared to me. I don't know why you would ever listen to any of them.
So for